Hey guys, what is going on? It is year end here, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing Eden Zero episode 17. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this video. So I will admit, in this video I've not done a lot of editing. I do apologize, I've not been feeling 100% lately, but don't worry, I have a lot of banger videos out for you guys later on this week. So make sure to stay tuned for that, because those videos will be great. I know you guys will love them, so just stay tuned later on this week. But without further ado, let's get right into this Eden Zero episode 17 review, which has got a lot of timey-wimey stuff involved, so much plot in one episode. I'm so surprised that they did so much in just a single episode. So what happened at the beginning? Well, it gave us a quick recap of what happened in the previous episode about the hacker, of course, hacking into the Eden Zero mainframe, causing a lot of disruption in the ship and causing it to almost self-destruct. But thanks to Hermit returning, of course, with her red cheeks, she was able to restore the systems of Eden Zero back to its rightful command. And now, of course, now they just need to fix up the ship. They need to repair it, and they have, let's just say, the hacker caused a lot of damage to the ship, so they are just assessing, of course, Witch and Sister. And of course they are also glad that Hermit has finally returned, because they did not know what caused her to be so lifeless, so soulless. But after seeing, of course, what we saw in the previous episode, it sort of makes sense now why Hermit was like that. So it was glad to see that Hermit is finally back with the crew and everything is going back to normal. And now the crew are on the right path to find the final shining star of the Demon King Ziggy, in order for them to go on their quest to find Mother, which is the ultimate adventure and the ultimate goal for Shiki. So what happened after that? Well, what happened after that is it showed Rebecca and Homura taking a bath, of course, just relaxing after such a big battle that they've had, because remember, they went to Digitalist and then straight away when they came back, that is when the hacker hacked into the ship, so they have not really had much time to rest. So now, of course, the crew are just resting up. They are just gathering their energy back to find Valkyrie, which is a fourth and final shining star. So once they find her, that is when they can go on the actual adventure they want to go on. So it's kind of hyped, of course, to know that they found 3 out of 4, and the crew, of course, are just hyping themselves up, of course, thinking, yes, we found 3 out of 4, let's find the final one and then let's go find Mother. And it's starting to show a little bit of funny moments, of course, in the Eden Zero anime. Some funny moments with Homura, of course, reminiscing about her past with Valkyrie, and just, of course, challenging Rebecca to a fight. And then it went to Shiki and Wise. They were just eating, of course, their burgers, and Pino, of course, was saying her dream is to become human, which Wise, of course, being a mechanical guy, he says, of course, that it's not really possible for a robot like Pino to become human. So he's saying, of course, that it is very impossible for Pino to become a human. But he's thinking that, well, if they meet Mother, that really throws it out the window, because all logic is thrown out of the window whenever they meet Mother, because the Mother is the ultimate being that can grant any wish. So he's thinking it might be possible for Pino to become human, but they need to find Mother. So then what happened after that, of course, is the crew, of course, are starting to, let's just say, go into the normal rhythm, of course, and setting up objectives on what to do next. But then what happened is, after it was going through that good moment, we are actually introduced to Draken Joe. And I will admit, from the first glances, he does look like quite a scumbag, because the first scene, of course, that happened was, well, a little bit before that, the hacker who, of course, was hacking into Eden Zero, he went onto this, like, gangster planet where he was trying to find Draken Joe so that he could tell them about Eden Zero. So he went onto this planet, he met this, of course, woman who, we don't know too much about her, but let's just say he was acting really strangely, and it was a very weird moment. So then he finally met with Draken Joe, but Draken was actually in the middle of something, because he was actually in the middle of torturing a person who owed him money. So he is sort of like a loan shark in the Eden Zero anime, and he is very much a scumbag, because he only cares about money. He is saying that money is the ultimate thing in the Sakura cosmos, in actually anywhere in space, and once he has all the money, he will be the most powerful. That's what he thinks. and that is what of course is driving him to become such a scumbag. So he's sort of like a shark loan person, where he was, let's just say, torturing a guy that owed him money, and it wasn't a very child friendly sort of thing, because he was having a glass bottle in his actual mouth and he was suffocating him whilst also speaking to him. And we actually saw a little bit of his ether gear, which is very similar to Shiki's, because his is also gravity and Shiki's is, well, gravity. So it was a little interesting to know that Drakenjaw is also able to manipulate gravity with his ether gear, but it probably has a different concept to Shiki's, where he probably can do it to objects, whereas Shiki of course can do it to anything, including his own body. So it'll be interesting to see, probably in the near future, probably in season 2, we'll see those two fighting. I doubt we'll see it in season 1, but you never know what can happen. So it was an interesting moment. So of course the loan shark guy, Draken, was interrogating or torturing, you could say, this guy that owed him money. And let's just say, once everything was said and he tortured him a lot, he dragged him away, of course. So one of his minions dragged away the guy that owed him money, and then he started to speak to the hacker and they started to talk about Eden Zero. So he said, of course, that the ship, so the hacker said that the ship Eden Zero was a ship that was formerly owned by the Demon King. And after Draken, of course, heard this, he said, well, that sounds like a fantasy thing to me, so it's not really realistic. And let's just say Draken was very pissed off, because as soon as the hacker said that he mentioned Draken's name, but they didn't fear him whatsoever, Draken got really pissed off that one of his minions did such a slick and yet fast move where he shot the hacker, but he didn't even realize that he was shot until a couple of minutes afterwards, when he just fell down. Even though he was shot through the head, it was such a clean, swift kill that it really does make me think, what sort of people does Draken have and how powerful is he actually is? Because if he has someone like that on his minion side, what is his actual power? That will be interesting to find out, of course, later on. But for now, of course, it was, let's just say, an interesting confrontation for seeing Draken for the first time and what sort of person he is. So then it went back to the crew. The crew, of course, are just starting to think about what to do next, about Homura, of course, trying to find her teacher Valkyrie, and that is the final shining star they need to find before they can go on the quest for Mother. So then Hermit has an idea to go to this planet, which I can't pronounce the name, so I do apologize for that. So Hermit, of course, says that let's go to this planet, where this planet has literally, time has stopped on this planet. So the crew, of course, are saying, why do we need to go to a planet like that? Well, Hermit says that the person on that planet, who of course is, let's just say, the person on that planet knows where, or probably knows the whereabouts of where Valkyrie could be. So that is probably the best shot they have to find Valkyrie. So Hermit, of course, just said that to the crew, and the crew then decided to go to that planet. Just before let's just say, was showing the crew going to the ship, the crew going to the planet, it showed Shomi again. So Shomi, of course, was like the narrator of the Eden Zero anime, and she was just narrating, of course, about what has happened so far, about Digitalus, about Drakenjaw, and just before she could say anything else about the crew going to this planet, which time had suddenly stopped, she said that there's some people at her door. So then she just went away, and then went back to the crew, and they, let's just say, are doing another funny moment where they're trying to find outfits, of course, to wear, so when they go onto this planet. And it looks like Wise and Homura had a little bit of a deal, where Wise said to Homura that she has to wear this in order for her to come on the Eden Zero ship, as that was part of their original deal. And Homura, being a samurai, she said, yes, fine, I'll do it. So she wore this, let's just say, interesting outfit, and everyone was starting to get changed. They were starting to show their new looks, and let's just say it was interesting to see what everyone's sort of new outfits were, because they were very, very interesting. And even Witch and Sister changed their outfits too. So it was very nice to see the crew have this new makeover, and it was very nice to see a fresh change of clothes for the crew. Then what happened is the crew actually went to the planet where the time had stopped forever, and they actually went into the planet itself. They saw this humongous samurai sort of castle. They went into it, and it looks like we are actually introduced to Shome. So Shome is not the narrator. Well, technically she is, but Shome introduces herself to the crew because that planet where the crew have visited, where time has stopped, that is the home of Shome. So she is the one that lives there, and how has she been narrating everything that's happening to the crew and also speaking to them at the same time? It's sort of timey-wimey stuff which I won't get too much into because it'll probably confuse your guys' mind as much as mine. But then Shome, let's just say she says about Homura, about knowing about what's happened in, let's just say, Eden Zero, about what they've gone through, the adventures they've gone through, and she knows everything about them, and she even knows what's going to happen in the future, because the way she explains it is, even though time has stopped for her, as long as the planet is still there, she can move or she can know any part of it from past to future, and she will still know everything that's happened. So she sort of can predict the future, and it's sort of confusing thinking about it that way, so I won't go too much into it. So after the crew asks Shome, where is Valkyrie, or do you know the whereabouts of where Valkyrie could be, Shome said that she does know where Valkyrie is, but she can't say it until the crew have, let's just say, reached a certain level, because she said that the crew need to reach a certain level before she can say where Valkyrie is. So then what happened at the end, which was very interesting, the crew get transported from where they were speaking to Shome to a tournament style ring where Shome is sort of like the announcer, and the crew are now have to participate in this tournament. That is how the episode ended, and I will admit that was such a great ending and such a great start to the next arc of Eden Zero. You guys, let me know down below, what did you think of Eden Zero episode 17? Did you like it? What was your favourite moment? And let me know down below, of course, are you hyped for the next week episode? And let me know, of course, if you guys want to still see these review videos, because I know sometimes these videos don't do the best, but if you guys still like to watch them, I'll still do them, of course. And I'll make sure next time I put some more effort into doing the editing side of it. So I do apologize for this week, but next week, don't you guys worry, those videos will be clean and crisp. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel to join this awesome community that we have. And yeah, take care and peace.